Welcome everybody to the Town of Fuquay-Varina Board of Adjustment meeting for March 14th, 2021, or 2022. At this time, I will call the March 14th, 2022 Board of Adjustment meeting for the Town of Fuquay-Varina to order. Any evidence presented tonight before the board will become the property of the town. Anyone wishing to address the board tonight will be required to take an oath or affirmation issued by the clerk. Some first business here. At this time, I would like to make an announcement that we'll be moving agenda item 5A to the beginning of the meeting so that we can administer the oaths of office to Andrew Rubley and Cassandra Flowers so they're able to vote on the items listed below on the agenda this evening. So with that, we'll commence with item 5A, the administration of Board of Adjustment oath of office. The purpose of this agenda item is to administer oath of office to the newly appointed Board of Adjustment members, Andrew Rubley and Cassandra Flowers. At this time, we ask that the clerk please administer the oaths of office.
Yes, if you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Andrew Rubley,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and maintain the Constitution
that I will support and maintain the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as member of the Town of Fuquay-Varina Board of Adjustment.
as member of the Town of Fuquay-Varina Board of Adjustment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Fuquay Board of Adjustment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to item 2A, the approval of minutes from the February 14th, 2022 meeting. Purpose of this agenda item is to consider approval of the minutes from the Board of Adjustment meeting on February 14th, 2022. Has everyone on the board had a chance to review the minutes of the February 14th, 2022 meeting? I see affirmation from everyone. Does anyone have any changes or corrections to the minutes? Wow.
Somebody get Eva a drink.
Okay. If not, please make a motion.
I make motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Can we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the motion to approve the minutes from February 14th, 2022 meeting of the Board of Adjustment, raise your right hand. Okay, the motion passes 7-0. Make a general announcement. Quasi-judicial hearings are a time for petitioners to present justification for special use permit or variance requests, and for the members of the public to testify in support or in opposition to these presented justifications. Quasi-judicial hearings are unlike legislative hearings in that witness testimony is limited to the field of expertise or to a party with standing, and not general public comments in support or opposition. At this time, I will ask our planning director to review the protocol of the meeting for the witness testimony as it relates to this meeting.
Thank you. Tonight's meeting is both in person.
Excuse me, just a moment.
Clarification. Do we need to swear in anybody presenting testimony prior to you stating the case?
No, I'm just doing the meeting protocol.
Okay.
We haven't opened that up yet.
Okay,
And
thank you.
that comes next, I believe. Tonight's meeting is both in person and virtual. Tonight's meeting contains a scheduled public hearing. Due to the hybrid nature of the meeting, attendees will be able to comment both in person and virtually via the Zoom virtual meeting platform. Since this is a quasi-judicial meeting, anyone participating virtually will need to have both audio and video capabilities. Everyone wishing to testify or comment will need to be sworn in. When it is the appropriate time, the chair will first call on those wishing to address the board that are attending in person, followed by those wishing to address the town board via the Zoom platform. All attendees that have joined the meeting virtually have joined muted. If those joining virtually wish to address the board related to a scheduled public hearing, they will need to notify the town host that they wish to speak. For the public's benefit that may be joining the meeting via the Zoom platform, please press the Raise Hand button in the Zoom app to notify the town host you wish to address the board. After an individual has raised their hand, they will enter a queue. When the time for the scheduled public hearing begins, the chair will ask the town host to recognize individuals that have notified the town host they wish to speak by calling out their name. Individuals will be unmuted one at a time and invited to address the board. We ask all those wishing to address the board to begin their comments by clearly stating their name and address for the public record. This concludes the protocol for tonight's meeting.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to testify or speak tonight that is here in person and has not been sworn in? Please come forward to be sworn by the clerk.
We'll do it one by one, please, if you'll approach the podium. If you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth
I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
For evidence presented before the Board of Adjustment
For evidence presented before the Board of Adjustment
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
and the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last time I did something like this was 51 years ago. I'm still married to her, by the way. So,
If you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth
I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth.
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I'm sorry.
And nothing but the truth,
Oh, and
so
nothing
help
but
me
the truth,
God.
so help me God.
For evidence presented
For evidence presented
before the Board of Adjustment
before the Board of Adjustments
of the town of Fuquay-Varina,
in the town of Fuquay-Varina,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
to tell the whole truth
to tell the whole truth
and nothing but the truth,
and nothing but the truth,
so help me God.
so help me God.
For evidence presented
For evidence presented
before the Board of Adjustment
before the Board of Adjustment
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
Thank you. Hello. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
to tell the whole truth
to tell the whole truth
and nothing but the truth,
and nothing but the truth,
so help me God.
so help me God.
For evidence presented
For evidence presented
before the Board of Adjustment
before the Board of Adjustment
of the town of Fuquay-Varina,
of the town of Fuquay-Varina,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Thank you. And if you'd
Thank you.
please complete a oath form for me and sign the sign-in sheet, please. Yes, please. Thank you. I have everyone that I sworn before you. I have a form for them. I would just need you to make, yes, please. Thank you.
So we have one person online that needs to be sworn in still?
Yes, we had one person raise their hand. Lori Jackson, please unmute your mic and turn on your camera. All right, 1 second. Let me get you over on the other screen here so we can record your video. Give me 1 second. Okay, Eva.
If you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
to tell the whole truth
to tell the whole truth
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
For evidence presented before the Board of Adjustment
For evidence presented before the Board of Adjustment
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Okay, Lori, if you
Thank
would
you.
just mute your mic and leave your video on. Thank you.
Is there anyone else online, Scott? Okay, Pam. I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth
I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
For evidence presented before the Board of Adjustment
For evidence presented before the Board of Adjustment
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we're ready to go. At this time, we're going to open the public hearing. Item number 4A is at the top of the agenda, special use permit petition for 5727, 5733, and 5803 Hilltop Road. Parcel identification numbers 0687-293-420, 0687-292-136, 0687-280920, BOA SUP 2022-03. Purpose of this agenda item is to consider a special use permit, BOA SUP 2022-03 at 5727, 5733, and 5803 Hilltop Road, submitted by petitioner Jill Donovan. Further information will be provided by Planning Director Pam Davison.
Thank you. I am submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official records of the town. The subject property is located at 5727, 5733, and 5803 Hilltop Road on 3 lots totaling 13.4 acres within the town's extraterritorial jurisdiction. 5733 Hilltop Road has an existing residential structure, 5727 Hilltop Road has 2 existing sheds, and 5803 Hilltop Road is vacant. The zoning of the subject properties is residential agricultural. Surrounding properties are mostly large lot residential in the residential agricultural zoning district. A non-conforming commercial use is located northeast of the properties in a residential agricultural zoned lot on Buster Trail. The town's Terrible Creek wastewater treatment plant is located across Hilltop Road to the west of the properties in the heavy industrial zoning district. The petitioner is requesting a special use permit to allow for a banquet hall within the residential agricultural zoning district as required by the permitted use table in section 9-1254 of the Land Development Ordinance. The 3 subject properties will be recombined to create 1 lot for development. As shown on the submitted plan, a garage addition, ballroom building with surrounding patio, and outdoor ceremony and garden area is proposed. Future development of the site includes an office, kitchen, and reception building at the northeast corner of the site. The existing sheds will be relocated to the east of the site to accommodate a parking lot, and all structures are shown 50 feet or more from the property lines in accordance with the use standards for banquet halls. Future development of the site will need to meet public utilities and fire protection ordinance standards. NCDOT is planning Project HL0006 to realign Hilltop Road. Get the site plan. The NCDOT right-of-way acquisition is planned for 2024 with road construction in 2025. As a result of the realignment, the majority of the existing right-of-way frontage meets the width requirements for a 60-foot wide thoroughfare collector. The required frontage improvements to the residual Hilltop Road stub include curb and gutter as well as a 5-foot sidewalk, and they are shown on the site plan along with the provisions for the required perimeter landscape buffers. Pedestrian circulation to the main banquet hall and ballroom areas are provided from the outdoor ceremony and garden area, the future office, kitchen, reception building, and parking lot. Paved fire access and trash removal designated areas are also proposed. The perimeter buffers shown meet town's requirements and include a 15-foot Type C buffer to the west along Hilltop Road and a 30-foot Type A buffer to the north and south boundaries of the site. The proposed perimeter buffer to the north has been supplemented to include a landscape berm. Parking, stormwater control, lighting, and landscaping will comply with the town's current standards for such. The proposed elements of the site may be developed together or phased over time. The property has not been the subject of a previous case seen by the Board of Adjustment. The petitioner has been advised that the burden of proof and evidence upon submitting such an application is a responsibility of the petitioner. Such proof and evidence presented must demonstrate that the required findings of fact have been met. I'm available to answer any questions.
Okay, so I think now's when we need to hear testimony. Is there anybody that would like to testify in favor of this petition? Please step forward, state your name and address.
Sure. My name is Tom Johnson. I'm an attorney with the firm of Williams Mullen at 301 Fayetteville Street, Suite 1700 in Raleigh, here on behalf of the petitioner, Jill Donovan. And Jill is here tonight with her parents, and we've got Josh Crumpler, who is the engineer on the site, and Lori Jackson, who's here virtually, is the architect for the site. So they're all here tonight. Pam already went through and admitted into evidence the application, abstract, and everything that has been submitted. What I'd like to do is go through the findings and just describe how those findings are met by what we've previously submitted into evidence. And of course, I have others here who can answer questions at that point that you may have, but I do want to go through those findings. The first finding, of course, is that the proposed use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the plan as submitted. The proposed use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed, since it's located on a main road for convenient ingress and egress and is on a large tract of land that exceeds the acreage requirement under the ordinance by over 10 acres. And under the ordinance is a 3-acre requirement, and we're proposed a 13.4 acre tract. And that's for a banquet hall. The activities on site will be well buffered and attractive, including a berm toward the residential property to the north. As part of the Fuquay-Varina transportation plan, Hilltop Road is to be rerouted to Lake Wheeler Road, and the balance of Hilltop Road toward the site will no longer be a through street. As a result, the traffic impact of this use will be much less. This plan also includes sidewalks, street lights along Hilltop Road, which will make the pedestrian and vehicle travel safer, and the use will comply with all fire and building code requirements. Finding number 2 is that the proposed use meets all required conditions and specifications. These are set forth in the ordinance with respect to the requirements for banquet halls. Number 1, as I mentioned earlier, the plan exceeds a minimum acreage of 3 acres by over 10 acres. There's little existing vegetation, but the vegetation that exists will be preserved where possible. The plans meet the 50-foot minimum setback, perimeter setback, as Pam mentioned earlier. Any noise outside the structure will not be audible beyond the boundary of the property after 11 p.m. as required by the ordinance. The banquet hall is more than 1/2 mile from any other banquet hall as required by the ordinance. And the use will not have a restaurant on site. Any events on site will be catered. The mention of a kitchen was just a catering type kitchen that was mentioned in the presentation, so I did want to make that clear. And the intent is not to cook on site. The proposed use will not substantially injure the value of adjoining property, or the use is a public necessity. In this instance, it will not substantially injure the value of adjoining property. The use is consistent with the surrounding uses, with a commercial car repair business use to the north, the railroad to the east, a stream to the south, and being Terrible Creek, and the Fuquay-Varina wastewater treatment plant to the west. There will be a berm on the northern property line to buffer the residential properties to the north. Given the size of the property, the banquet hall has plenty of room for parking and to buffer activities from its surroundings. This area is already a mix of residential and commercial uses. By allowing a banquet hall as a special use with specific conditions in the RA district, the ordinance recognizes this as a use compatible with the surrounding uses, and the conditions reduce the impact on the value of adjoining properties. In addition, the railroad serves as a buffer to the properties to the east, the stream serves as a buffer to the properties to the south, and Hilltop Road serves as a buffer to the properties to the west. Finding 4. The location and character of the proposed use, if developed according to the plan submitted, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development of the town of Fuquay-Varina and its ordinances. Because a banquet hall is listed as a special use in the RA zoning district, by law it's presumptively in harmony with the area and in general conformity with the plan of development of the town of Fuquay-Varina. But in addition, and as stated previously, this property is surrounded by a mix of residential and commercial uses, including a car repair business to the north, the railroad to the east, and the Fuquay-Varina wastewater treatment plant to the west. A banquet hall is in harmony with this area since this area already consists of a mix of commercial and residential uses. And they're also, as part of the application, I do want to go through those as well, they're contributing factor descriptions, and I want to go through that. Circulation, that is circulation by traffic and by automobile, bicycle, and pedestrian movement and public safety. The property will have 2 entrances to the property with turnarounds on site to ensure good traffic circulation and to comply with fire codes. The sidewalk will be added along Hilltop Road, and ADA-compliant pedestrian paths are included throughout the property as shown on the site plan to allow for convenient and easy pedestrian access. A drive is being added to the barn with a hammerhead turnaround at that location. The parking lot is designed for ease of parking and traffic circulation, and the front of the residence has a circular drive that exists now and will continue to be used for easy and safe travel for vehicles. Parking and loading location areas, parking lot and loading locations are shown on the site plan and provide for the required number of parking spaces, including ADA compliant spaces. The parking lot has drive aisles for ease of movement, and drives are provided to the house and barn for ease in loading and unloading. Service entrances and areas, there are drives with service entrances being provided to the main structure and the barn, and a dumpster with the required screening and landscaping adjoins the main structure. Lighting, the lighting will comply with the land development ordinance and will be designed to keep the lighting on site. Street lights and lights in the parking lot will be provided as required during site plan review. As far as utilities are concerned, at this time, the site will be using well and septic, and electric is available to the site. Open space and landscaping. The goal in this instance is an attractive venue to be used in a rural setting, so it will be an attractive venue with landscaped open spaces. The existence of the adjoining creek will be enhanced to create locations for photographs and enjoyment of the natural surroundings. And as noted on the site plan, existing trees and natural vegetation will be preserved as much as possible and supplemented with additional landscaping. In terms of environmental protection, the stream buffer and floodplain will not be developed, and trees on site will be preserved to the maximum extent possible. Additional landscaping will be added to enhance the appearance of the site, and any stormwater will be managed as required by local and state regulations. The effect on the adjacent properties. Noise will comply with the ordinance standards as set forth. As I mentioned earlier, no noise that exceeds the property lines after 11 p.m. Lighting will be limited to the site as much as possible. There will be no odor. Traffic will be well managed for the benefit of the use and to limit any impact on surrounding properties. The applicant will comply with DOT requirements for any driveway permit. The future transportation plan calls for this portion of Hilltop Road, as mentioned earlier, to no longer be a through street, with this being the only use on this section of Hilltop Road. There aren't any other properties to be accessed once that project is completed. Berm is being added to the north to buffer the properties on that side to the north. And the railroad and stream will serve as buffers for the properties to the east and south, and Hilltop Road will serve as a buffer to the properties to the west. Compatibility, the structures will be spread throughout the property. Any structures will be consistent with the agricultural heritage of the area, which the intent is to have a venue that highlights the agricultural heritage of this area. The size of the property will allow for buffering from adjoining properties, and there will be plenty of space to separate activities throughout the site rather than having them concentrated in any one location. And that is the extent to which what we present are the findings, proposed findings, based upon the information that's already been submitted. I have Ms. Donovan and Mr. Crumpler available to speak if there are any questions that you may have of them. So far as what is planned, I know Ms. Donovan is excited about this because we've been looking for a location for a long time. And to her, this is the ideal location because of the beauty of the home that's there, the buildings that are there, and the acreage that is there, the creek, and just other things that really enhance this as an entertainment or venue for her. She already has a catering company, so this is, she will be catering the events that are located here and are held here. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does the board have any questions at this time? No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
The next person on the list is, I believe, Josh Crumpler. Do you wish to make a statement? No? Okay.
You can go through that list. I think all of them are our supporting folks, and I don't think they plan on speaking unless you have a specific
Okay.
question with respect to engineering or the architecture, or Ms. Donovan as far as the operation of the venue.
Very well. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak in opposition to this special use permit? So I think I can close the public hearing at this time.
Just check with Scott, make sure there's nobody online.
Scott, anybody online?
We just have Ms. Jackson, and you're good.
Good. Okay, at this time, I'll close the public hearing for board discussion. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions for the witness or any of the attendees?
I do have one question. I just wanted to clarify, it indicates that the structures will be spread out throughout the property. Are there just 2 structures, or will there be more?
There are 2 main structures, and then there are existing structures that are out there. Those are going to be moved to other locations on the property. So they're in a location where they would interfere with the parking lot, and we want to preserve many of those as we can, because we want the venue to have that agricultural feel that it currently has. So, yeah, as of now, this is all that's planned. There is an outdoor section where there, may be outdoor events, potential to have a temporary tent up when you have an outdoor event, but that'll be permitted through the town. There's a permitting process for that on a temporary basis.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I also have one question. So I know it was mentioned that the NCDOT plans to in the future to no longer have that Hilltop Road as a street, and I think that begins, in 2024? So when will this be, if this is approved, when do you think the construction will be finished, and how long will that still be a through street at the same time that banquet visitors are using the street?
The plan is to do construction over the next year, get this approved over the next year to do that. So there will be a period of time based on the existing schedule, of about 3 years where it will still be a through street, but thereafter it will not. So it's just a matter of coordination of that, but that's how that's going to work.
And if I can offer, so the town will require curb and gutter and sidewalk along that section, regardless, so.
Which way is the road being abandoned or broken from the existing network? Is it at the north side where it veers off to tie into Lake Wheeler at a
Yes.
perpendicular? Okay. So there'll be a pavement break up there and some barricades, so access will be from the south.
No, I think they'll honestly, I don't know. That's a good question, but.
Is access to the property coming from the south, heading north on Hilltop?
My anticipation would be that it would, given the fact that Lake Wheeler is going to be a new thoroughfare, I don't think they're going to want access to the south. So my anticipation would be that access would be to the north, to the, where Hilltop Road is veering off.
Okay.
To get to Lake Wheeler Road. That would be consistent with what DOT typically does. But either way, there'll be, that short stretch where there will be access. But that, based upon the plan that I see here, that's what it looks like. Because access has to be provided to these properties, that could not be terminated. So it basically will become a driveway to the site eventually.
Thank you. Any further
You're welcome.
questions? Okay, well, if no further discussion, I'll open the hearing back up, and I'll ask for a motion on finding of fact number 1.
I'll make the I'll make a motion on finding of fact number 1, that the proposed use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the plan as submitted, because it will be located on a main road. It will be well buffered with an attractive feel to it. It will include sidewalks and streetlights. It will meet all fire and building requirements and provide for ease of traffic circulation on the property.
Would anybody like to second that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor of finding of fact number 1, the motion, please raise your right hand. All those, okay. The finding passes 7-0. All right, finding number 2, the proposed use meets or does not meet all required conditions and specifications because. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. The proposed use meets all required conditions and specifications as outlined by the town because the plan exceeds the minimum acreage. Existing vegetation will be maintained, and all buffers will be completely met.
I second.
All those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand in support. Okay, motion passes 7-0. Finding number 3, the proposed use will or will not substantially injure the value of adjoining property, or the use is a public necessity. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make motion to approve finding number 3. The proposed use will not substantially injure the value of the adjoining property or the use as a public necessity. The use is consistent with the surrounding use, with a commercial car repair use to the north and a railroad to the east, a stream to the south, and the Fuquay wastewater treatment plant to the west. There will be a berm on the northern property line to buffer the residential properties to the north. Given the size of the property, the banquet hall has plenty of room for parking and to buffer activities from its surroundings. The area is already a mix of residential and commercial uses. By allowing a banquet hall as a special use with specific conditions to the RA district, the ordinance recognizes this use as compatible with the surrounding uses and conditions, reduce the impact of the total value of adjoining properties. In addition, the railroad serves as a buffer for properties to the east. The stream serves as a buffer to the properties to the north, and Hilltop Road serves as a buffer for the properties to the west.
Thank you. Would anybody like to
I second.
second that? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, finding number 3 passes 7-0. Finding 4, the location and character of the proposed use, if developed according to the plan submitted, will or will not be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development of the town of Fuquay-Varina and its ordinances because. Do we have a motion for finding number 4?
I'll make a motion. That the location and character of the proposed use, if developed according to the plan submitted, will be in harmony with the area in which it was to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development of the town of Fuquay-Varina and its ordinances because there's already a mixed use there, and the banquet hall will just add to that.
I'll second the motion.
Seconded. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And finding 4 passes 7-0. Okay, so
I would
do
like.
I have a motion to approve the SUP?
I make a motion to approve petition BOA SUP 2022-03 as it has met all four findings of fact.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. So, let's see. BOA SUP 2022-03 has all four findings of fact approved. Do I have a motion?
You just
You
did it.
just made it. Hold on, let me get my, so I think we're done, right? Just, we can close the hearing?
That's it,
Yes.
folks.
Unless there's some administrative reports or anything.
Yes, any administrative? No. All right, well, at this time, we'll close the public hearing, and thank you for your attendance tonight.
Thank y'all. Adjourn.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
I wanted to see her picture.
Hey, Dan, can we do a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment, raise your right hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. Yeah. Yes. It's beautiful. Yeah.